Welcome to historic Mansker Station, located in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. In the year 1780, Caspar Mansker arrived out here and established the station to offer a place of protection for the settlers that were heading out here to start their new lives. Why don't you join us as we go inside and explore each of the cabins and see what their purpose was. And welcome to the blockhouse here at Mansker Station. This two-story structure that we see right here, primarily listed as a defensive structure for the defense of this station, has, if you'll notice from the outside, very small square loops. These very small square loops were once the defenders had fled to the inside of the stations and the gates were closed behind them, what they could end up doing is sticking their gun barrels out from that fire to defend the station, not only from a ground level fire, but from an elevated position such as the top cantilever that we have here. As to just how many of these blockhouses were at both Caspar Mansker's first station and his second station currently are unknown. But 30 years ago, when this reproduction was built, they chose to put one on each opposing corner, therefore to give the indication that both opposite 90-degree angles of the station would be covered. Quite often we have referred to this large structure here as Caspar Mansker's Inn or Tavern. Truth be known, we can't even really document an inn or a tavern that he has here, even though we know that most of these folks that were out here that had established these stations were bestowed the honor of being innkeepers and tavern keeps out here on North Carolina's frontier. This particular structure, even though it has a very large downstairs room, has an even larger upstairs room. And during events in which we have not only staff but volunteers here on site, they will most often get a chance to spend the night upstairs in relative comfort and ease, as perhaps you would have seen out here on North Carolina's frontier between the years 1780 and 1805. Welcome to the inside of the main blockhouse. As I had mentioned, primarily you would see these blockhouses used as defensive structures at these stations. Whether they stood alone, stood on the corners, or stood in the center, you'll note that all throughout them you had various sizes of these gun ports in which folks could take and fire with relative safety from the inside of this defensive structure to defend the compound around them. The interesting thing about this is, due to this small hole that we have for firing our guns through, you would have upwards of a 30-yard swath or a 30-yard coverage of range outside, but the person that unfortunately is trying to fire back at you has a very, very small target in which to try to hit.